The dust has settled on week 4 of the college football season. They're eventually going to give you their college football playoff rankings. They got to get in their room and look at their algorithm and do their eye test thing. Listen, we watch college football here just like y'all. We start with game day. We finish during Sicko's hour right around like whatever just unbelievable late night, early morning hour it ends up being in your respective time zone. Shout out to the college football sickos. These are our college football playoff picture rankings, not projections, not predictions, but if the college football playoff were to start tomorrow, this to me is about how it would shake out. Okay, now the way that we do this thing, we don't give you like our top 12 teams. We give you our top 11, and then the 12th team is our G5 representative. So as of today, they were on a bye, but y'all, UNLV, don't look now, Wagon University. Okay, that go-go offense is rolling. NIU, we got a lot of flack for not putting them in our G5 party. I told you I wanted to wait and see. I think the MAC is just going to be an absolute Hunger Games. UNLV has not one but 2 Power 4 wins over Houston and Kansas, respectively. Massive game for the old UNLV. They got Boise State at the crib. Friday now, weird things happen on a Friday. They host Boise State. That'll be a major truth-telling game for the Mountain West Conference. But for me right now, the resume, what we've seen from UNLV, they were off this week. They are and should be your G5 rep if the college football playoff started tomorrow. But it doesn't, so we move on forward. A new entry to the college football playoff picture rankings. How about Mizzou now? Win is a win, whether it be Boston College, whether it be Vandy and OT, a win is a win. They found a way to get it done. They are still wildly talented. As much as you're a little bit nervous about what they lost with no Cody Schrader anymore, they replaced right around 40% production on defense, new DC. I think that with Missouri, we're going to see a little bit more juice from them, no pun intended, a little more juice from them when they see some better logos. So that's something to watch for here. How does Missouri play when they play better competition? I think they're still gelling. I think Brady let him cook as that dude. Luther Burden has an argument to be the best offensive player in college football when it's all said and done this season. I like Mizzou. Want to see more. For me, they're number 11 in this week's college football playoff picture rankings. At number 10, we got Penn State. And good for Penn State, man. Good just to see them throttle Kent State 56-0. Big one next week against Illinois. That'll be a lot of fun. I've loved what we've seen so far from Penn State. That game against USC is going to tell us a lot about Penn State in terms of their chops within the Big Ten Conference. They're going to keep building this thing going forward. I love the offense and Coach Koltanecki and his whole ice cream metaphor. It's the same things that you know and love offensively, strategically with our basic concepts, but we add a little sprinkle in there. We got the vanilla ice cream, but we have the sprinkles, the M&Ms, the Heath Bar. Shout out my Heath Bar people that are dialed into the way this offense is looking. Again, it's Kent State. I'm not worried about it. Good look for Penn State so far, the number 10 this week in our playoff picture rankings. At number 9, you got Oregon on a bye, but the last thing I saw from them was them just taking Oregon State in Corvallis to the woodshed. Do they build on that going forward now? If they do, if that's the point where Oregon says, now we go, that roster is good enough to play with anyone in America. So nothing much with Oregon this week, but still, I think they're one of the top 10 teams in college football today. At number 8, I got Utah. Gritty outfit, man. You thought you were going to have Cam Rising. We broke down the game as if Cam Rising was going to play in Stillwater against Oklahoma State in Big 12 play for the Utes. Did not happen that way. Instead, you got Isaac Wilson stepping in with no Cam Rising available that day. I think the tweet from Thamel was that Rising was just kind of like not able to throw a spiral effectively during pregame warmups. Is what it is. That's a salty outfit against Oklahoma State. And you got to go to their place, a tough place to play, to find a way to get a win with a young quarterback. I need Cam Rising to get back in that lineup now if I want to buy the stock I would like to buy in Utah to win the Big 12. But overall now, finding a way to get it done with no quarterback, no veteran quarterback, I should say. Good vibes. Good vibes out there in Salt Lake City. Number 7, I got Miami. I said this before. I don't know who's beating them. Not to say they are unbeatable. They got to go to Louisville, I believe, and then they finish the year at Syracuse, but no Clemson on the schedule. Florida State, you don't even look at that game the same way at all if you're a Miami fan. Cam Ward looks like the Heisman favorite so far. Credit them for not playing to the logo against USF because this is a Miami outfit now a couple of years ago that got not just beat, throttled by Middle Tennessee. USF is a scrappy G5 outfit. USF, I should say, they are a team that if you did not bring your best, they could have made this thing a lot more interesting than it was yesterday. So Miami, like what I've seen so far, the number 7 in this week's playoff picture rankings. Ole Miss, another week, another body bag. Handle Georgia Southern. They get Kentucky next week. Now, Kentucky may not be creme de la creme of the SEC, but we're going to learn a lot more about what's truly under the hood for Ole Miss. But so far, so good, man. Jackson Dart, again, another darn near 400-yard performance. He's putting up just video game numbers. He's playing Road to Glory in real life right now. Ole Miss, they have, I believe, the USDA-approved sirloin in the trenches offensively and defensively to compete for an SEC title. Buy stock in Ole Miss because right now you're getting at, I think, a pretty decent price with the fact they haven't really played anybody just yet. So we'll learn a lot this week. At number 5 now, shooting up our playoff picture rankings, how about Tennessee, man? Been asking them to play somebody, been asking for a valid filter, and we saw it. Now, was it the 50-point performance we've come to expect from a Josh Heupel offense? Not necessarily, but still, man, to get it done on the road, emotionally, I mean, just jam-packed kind of atmosphere for Josh Heupel's return to Norman, your first-year starting quarterback's first road start, hostile environment, and he didn't even have his best day. You won this game defensively, which I think is the validating thing if you're a Tennessee fan. I mean, how long have we said, man, if they could just get a defense to go with Josh Heupel's offense, they'll be in good shape. They've taken strides since 2022. They won that game last night on the defensive side of the football against Oklahoma. Scored 25 points. Your star quarterback that you're building your hopes for the future on, in Nico Iamaleava, has 2 fumbles and throws for less than 200 yards, and you still, I believe, definitively won that football game. I don't think it was actually as close as the box score actually made it look. Alabama, they were on a bye. I cannot wait for this week, man, when they host Georgia. Fired up to see DeBoer now get in the bag a little bit, and I think he's been going kind of putt-putt for the most part. I mean, it hasn't been all putt-putt, but it hasn't been a whole lot of, all right, let's crank out the driver here. They will get the driver out this week against Georgia, and I can't wait to see it. Alabama for me at number 4. Ohio State, man, play with your food as long as you eat it is going to be my rule for our little girl when she arrives here in November, and I think that's the same rule you should have if you're assessing Ohio State and the way they played against Marshall yesterday. 49-14, just hilarious that they have the running back room they have. Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. Stop. Will Howard, as the competition ramps up, you'll need to see him ramp it up a little bit more. There will be situations where he has to be the difference maker for you. You talk about the game against Oregon, and you talk about the game against Nebraska potentially. We'll see what that game looks like. You'll talk about the game against Penn State. Like, there's going to be some games now where Will Howard has to be the differentiating factor for Ohio State. All right? Michigan obviously will be a massive game as well. It always is for Ohio State, but that's just kind of the thoughts on Ohio State for us. They're number 3. Georgia, I think it's the Backstreet Boys. Bye. I'm not 100% sure, but they want to bye this week. A lot to learn next week. The last thing we saw from them was Kentucky. We say it a lot. Georgia, when they get that smelling salt kind of moment now, the Auburn game last year, the Missouri game 2 years ago, I think it was the Kentucky game last week. Don't know who we're picking just yet in Georgia, Alabama, but Georgia is going to be a force. I have a hard time putting them any lower than number 2 in our playoff picture rankings. And then Texas, man, no Quinn Ewers. You hope he gets back sooner rather than later, but no Ewers, no problem. Texas for us, still the number 1 team in our college football playoff picture rankings. Extremely complete. Arch Manning looked like a really talented quarterback making his first start. The talent they have defensively and what they have on the perimeter, the way that Sark has allowed that all to mesh so well with some of the new faces, Texas still has the most impressive win, I think, of the entire college football season at this point. For us, they are number 1 in our college football playoff picture rankings. So to recap it for you, our G5 rep, if the college football playoff started tomorrow, would be Go-Go University and UNLV. At Mizzou, Mizzou comes in at number 11, Penn State at 10. Oregon, they were on a bye, but they are number 9. Utah, gritty. Find a way to get it done, kind of win on the road in Stillwater. They're number 8. Miami at 7. Ole Miss at 6. Can't wait to watch them play Kentucky. Tennessee at 5. Validating filter. Validating kind of win for that defense. Bama at 4. Ohio State at 3. Georgia at 2. And Texas at number 1 in our college football playoff picture rankings. subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Piquel. DM me, tweet at me, whatever you want to do there. Follow me and let me know what you think our college football playoff picture rankings should look like after week 4 of the glorious thing that is the college football season. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.